So here we are, FilmCan Productions, episode 3. We're gonna review Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And I'm here with my co-host, David Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm David Gonzalez, and we're here with a guest today.
We got a guest today, Javier Beltram.
Hello.
Another film connoisseur.
So we recently got a chance to check out Pee-wee, the original Pee-wee movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, 1985, Tim Burton's classic. So we're gonna speak a few things about it.
Yeah, we actually had the good fortune to go to the theater and see an original 35mm print from the 80s cult classic Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and it was fucking scratched to hell, which made it that much better.
Cigarette burns and all. Cigarette burns and all.
Yeah, marker, had crayons on it.
Yeah, might as well have been an ashtray right now on film, technically.
But it was still awesome.
And it was awesome because it was actually a pretty full house for a midnight showing of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, we've been gone there many times, so this was a big turnout.
Yeah, we go to this place, the Coral Gables Art Cinema. And
Yeah,
we
Secret
do
Celluloid Society.
The Secret Celluloid Society. They show like midnight showings every Saturday night of very
Cult
obscure
classics,
films.
yeah.
Yeah, our cult classics. They don't show mainstream stuff. They only show really obscure movies.
Occasionally,
Occasionally, yes.
Occasionally, yeah.
And yeah, man, we just saw the movie yesterday.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen it in a while, and we took the wives, and that was a bit of an experience.
We had a big group with us, and we were happy when we got there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're loose, having a good time.
Yeah, we were loose.
I think everyone had a good time. I mean, people were cracking up.
I mean, there's nothing better than to see something like this that's really goofy and out there, and you get to like drink beer at the same time. It's like the best combination. You might as well see it in a biker bar for real. It's like that type of atmosphere. So
Oh hell yeah! And like I was surprised how much it holds up still, because even though we liked it as kids, I saw it as a child. All of us pretty much saw it as a child.
yeah.
As an adult, we just catch it at a different level.
Well, the thing about
How
Pee-wee,
absurd and weird it is, and the dark humor.
the thing about Pee Wee Herman is that is kind of an enigma on how the hell that Paul Rubens ever got this character so mainstream. Because honestly, it started. I think someone told me that he was part of the some kind of comedy troupe.
Second City,
possibly in Canada or whatever. And that was his most
or
popular
the,
character.
Or the Groundlings, one of those.
I heard it was
I think
Second
it was-
City, but I could be wrong.
It was
Maybe
one
you
of
guys
those.
could write us and correct us there. But how the hell that character? I remember seeing that character for the first time in a Cheech and Chong film where he's literally doing cocaine under the dinner table of a restaurant. And
As
then,
Pee Wee Herman?
As Pee Wee Herman, and then you fast forward and he has a kids show on Saturday morning. You know,
Well, the
and
kids
it's
show
like,
happened after the movie.
regardless, it's the same guy. It's like how that would never happen now.
Yeah.
That would never happen now. Your character starts off as like this obscure, dark, like adult, crazy, drug out guy, and then all of a sudden it's a TV show for kids on Saturday
It's a
morning.
pitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but leave it to Tim Burton to actually kind of like, make it more quirky and that kind of thing. He actually got away with it. I'm sure like he didn't go that dark into it until later in his career because he did a lot of that first. And given the fact that it was more accessible back then, that's why you have, you pretty much have all those little like kids shows that he did later on, like early in the 90s. And I remember that too because I was born in 85 and that came out when I was born. But I do remember the movies, especially
Yeah.
Big Top, when he went to the circus.
Yeah, Big Top Pee Wee.
Yeah, but I also now looking back at it as an adult and like knowing what we've known and watched what we've seen, whatever. It's funny how they got away with a lot of the stuff. And like you said before, like going back to what you had said, it's really cool just to see like a crowd of people that probably have never seen or have seen it before and actually still laugh at the goofiness, not necessarily get weirded out by it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, well, obviously, I think the whole crowd that was there, they're all Pee Wee guys, you know. So I think everyone there, it was almost sort of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show, you know? I think everyone knew the lines. I think everyone, they were like laughing out loud a little too much sometimes, but...
But regarding what you said, and what you said makes me think that it's true. Like, I wonder if it was Tim Burton, the one that made the movie more
accessible to kids.
Yeah, more kid friendly.
I'm sure
and
it
keep
was.
the dark humor. Like, it was a collaboration. Like Paul Rubin's like, you know, we'll go this far. You know.
That was his first movie, right?
Tim Burton's first
Tim
feature
Burton's
film.
feature film, right?
Feature.
Yeah. So think about it. I mean, by today's standards, it's pretty cheap, but I'm sure at the time it was still a lot of money involved in it. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
it was a mainstream movie, you know. It was
and even like half of it is filmed within the Warner Brothers
that
studio
was
lot,
slick.
which is gonna save them a shitload
That's
of money.
because it was free. But the big difference between the show and the movie for me is the fact that the show is basically just him in his house hanging around with weird characters.
Yes.
Remember? This one is kind of like a travel movie. It's an adventure movie. Yeah, exactly.
A big
It's a
adventure, you would say.
cross-country movie, so that's what makes it. It's kind of like taking him out of his world and throwing him in the real world and see how he reacts. But for some reason, people just accept him. You know. He's almost like Forrest Gump and dressed like Forrest Gump if you think about it.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe they were influenced Forrest Gump's Big Adventure.
That would be amazing if the author
that sounds like a job for you to get done, David.
Can you imagine if the guy who wrote Forrest Gump actually was inspired by Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Oh my god.
That has to be something on Wikipedia.
And then like 20 years from now, oh yeah, it was a book.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf knows about that.
Oh god, yeah. I think he's still paying.
Have you seen that new video, by the way, where they added Shia LaBeouf into Batman vs Superman?
Oh, they've done 100 of them, dude.
Yeah.
He did like a video where he's like motivational, like screaming. And I saw him in. Have you seen the Dragon Ball Z one?
Oh
that,
man,
that one is fucking awesome because he goes like Super Saiyan.
That like forever now.
There's a part where he's like, "Come on, fucking do it!" And they animated his hair and his eyes are glowing. He's like, people go crazy with these.
What's going through him right now. Like, he goes from child star to superstar because of the Transformers movies.
Lo and behold, this is the same
Probably
guy.
Wasn't thinking right.
Wasn't thinking because he was drinking and God knows sniffing or snorting what. And sure enough, someone with a phone camera.
He probably didn't even remember that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't think of that or saw a guy with a phone recording him.
Nowadays,
yeah, because once you put it up, whatever, pretty much everyone's gonna listen to it and say, you know what, it comes from one. You're pretty much scrutinized.
Anytime you're famous and you're surrounded by everyday people, your red flag should be constantly up that someone is fucking filming you. But these guys,
this feels like Smodcast.
Maybe it's not these guys.
I love it.
Actually gonna do it. The new Pee-wee.
New Pee-wee? Can you imagine
he's
that?
gonna do New Pee-wee. He's gonna do everything.
That's Tim Burton's, I think. Well, Beetlejuice is supposedly greenlit. That's a big one.
That's a go.
Either you're gonna trash another disappoint our childhood or not.
Yeah, how could it?
But thank Birdman for that. Michael Keaton
it's possible, man.
And
Michael Keaton was pretty much retired, bro.
But it's
Birdman,
possible.
just like think about it. It's actually like in the 50s era, if I'm not mistaken. It's around that time. So he like hams it up. He cranked the visual of the 50s look, the way they dress, the way they talk, the houses, the cars.
So is it?
It's a timepiece in a way, but
it's a little bit flashy. It's kind of like
he definitely puts style into
Night Great Gatsby.
but it's just not gothic and dark.
Yeah.
Tim Burton. It's more like colorful, upbeat, and unlike him because it's kind of like, I think it's a book. I think it's like based on a novel.
No,
I don't know, but it's a
based
true
on
story.
A true story. I saw a
But
documentary.
I think he's out of his element though when talking about Tim Burton because I think he went through two specific phases. One was all the quirkiness that he did with like Pee-wee and stuff like that, and with Edward Scissorhands, even though he didn't get a lot of dark undertones. But then he went darker with Batman, and then he did Nightmare Before Christmas.
I think that's when he became the caricature of himself that he is known to be.
And Nightmare, technically he didn't direct that movie. Everyone assumes. I mean, everyone. It's a Tim Burton movie, definitely. He produced it. I think he wrote it.
He did the.
But officially, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was involved.
Yeah, all
in
the characters he designed.
It was one of those things, but it was marketed as a Tim Burton movie, so it's confusing. Remember when you were a kid?
Yeah. Anyways,
It's one of those.
Back to Pee-wee.
They would not. They probably won't get away with it like now it was if for example if they made it now, obviously we would enjoy it more because we know about Pee-wee. But I think that if a movie like Pee-wee came out now, I think we would just throw a lot of people off because now we're used to like gritty realism and that kind of thing.
No. If this character never existed and it just was like dropped in our laps,
I don't know if it would work.
It would not. It would definitely not work, and I don't think it would have ever gotten made. Studios are so jittery about projects that are like a little out there nowadays that I don't see how the hell they would ever make that nowadays. What's cool about this movie is that it has all of Tim Burton's early fingerprints on it. There's parts of that movie that look straight up Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Like the clown nightmare scene.
The clown doctors.
The clown doctor nightmare scene, straight up Beetlejuice. And there's the whole Large Marge clay animation.
Oh yeah.
The oblique shots when his bike is stolen.
Oh yeah. Red lights, you know, and it's like you can appreciate that. Like my wife had no clue, and I didn't know that she didn't know this Tim Burton's first movie. So like I remember like midway through,
a lot of people don't realize that.
Midway through, I think she overheard me saying something to her, and she's like, "Tim Burton made this?" I was like, "This is his first movie," and I think when I told her that, she automatically went from thinking this is stupid to
I get it now. Like you realize
exactly. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, cool." But that's my wife. Like she's actually a film person, not as knowledgeable as us, obviously. But as soon as I told her that, I could see a light switch on her, and she focused more on the movie. Like, oh, okay. And it's kind of cool because if you haven't seen it in a long time, just keep it in mind, bro. That's his big first movie, and then you start watching. Like, it starts as a very different movie than it turns into.
No, yeah.
Like the beginning is so hokey and over the top. Like it practically starts as the show. Exactly. It feels like a straight up kids movie in the beginning.
Yeah, what the kids like.
Before it turns into an actual Tim Burton film. It feels like two directors did this movie. First half hour was some other guy from the studio, and then Tim Burton take a hold of it.
And I don't know if it's just being a kid, or maybe it was being a kid in the 80s, but that kind of stuff was always cool. Movies had that, the whole Rube Goldberg thing, where they had like a device that would make toast.
Oh, yes.
You know, like one of those mousetrap kind of things. The Goonies did it. A lot of movies did those little things, you know, like Domino Rally kind of thing.
That was so 80s.
Yeah, and for some reason that was cool.
I remember when I was a kid.
Doc Brown kind of had that.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Guys, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with this movie for a while. And I used to have erector sets. And in my room, I had little pulleys. And when I would open the door, I had a little gimmick where it would like... Honestly, all I did was do something that maybe fucking... I don't remember. I think it opened my closet door. So it was something ridiculous.
But it was awesome.
But to me, it was like, hell yeah.
Engineering and shit.
Yeah, man. I so wanted to do the thing where he... like has his bike hidden in the trees and shit. I wanted to like have like some kind of trap door where I could have my bicycle in.
Like a
that shit never happened. But it had me going though. I was concentrated. I had blueprints and shit. But you know what? That's the type of shit that kids don't have nowadays. That type of stuff when I was little was like fuel for my imagination. I would fucking see shit like that. I used to love the TV show. And I used to always want my house to be like that. I remember when you and me would talk, you'd be like, "Boy, if you ever made it as a director, if we ever were big, what my house would be like." And we would talk about all this crazy shit we'd have in the house, like trap doors and fucking shelves that would spin and lead to the man cave and all this crap. And it's like, you know what? Clue. That's where that type of shit came from. It was awesome to think that you had a house that a grown adult, whatever you want to think of him was, but he was a grown ass man. And his house was the way he wanted it. It was so fucking crazy. I mean, it was like the whole outside of the house, so fucking tacky, but everything was like for a purpose. You know, everything had like moving parts, and watering the plants was like a whole fucking sequence. And it's like, when you're a kid, that's the type of shit that's like, I want that one day. You know,
Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus.
Well, that's a TV show.
Cowboy Bob.
Cowboy Curtis.
Sorry. And then the genie head that somebody I know used to think that was it you or Charlie?
No, that guy was an unknown guy. Guy, he was nobody.
No, I know, but I think it was Carlos told me that he thought when he was a kid, he thought the guy in the thing was fucking Hasselhoff.
I think Hasselhoff was a little too big.
No, I know, but you know, stupid shit when you're a kid.
Whatever the fuck you said.
I remember when I was a little kid, before you know people's names, a little kid. You would be like, "Oh, that's the person from that movie." And you're totally wrong sometimes. Did you tell me when you were a kid you confused Kurt Russell with Patrick Swayze? Someone told me that. I know my wife says that. Bia says it all the time. When she was a kid, she confused whatever.
No, not me. Man.
But there's people.
How epic would it be if it was fucking the Hoff? as the genie in the play.
Now he would do that shit. You know, now in an instant, he's in Kung Fury.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh yeah. I'm sure
yeah.
he's down. That would be so
Now,
fucking
yeah, of
awesome.
course.
But I mean, I like the Pee Wee show too. But
I think the Pee Wee show was just made just because I think that when the movie came out like that, it was just so kiddie and childish in that sense that I think that a lot of people that saw it were like, okay, I can take my kids to watch it, even though they completely not even paid attention to those little like adult undertones, you know. But when kids saw it, of course, they didn't pick up on it neither. And sure enough, when they realized, okay, this went well with children, boom, the show came out. You know?
the show made it really kiddie.
Exactly, and Pee Wee's Big Top, it was also getting kiddie as well. That's when you see it now, it's almost the same thing.
I haven't seen Big Top Pee Wee in a very long time.
Me neither.
I remember not liking it though.
First acting gig.
Yeah, he was the dog boy or something, right?
Something like
I
that.
remember.
Dog face boy. Yeah.
I remember not liking it as a kid. It came on '88 or something like that. So I was
Something like that.
I remember not liking it, and you know, back then I didn't know anything about Tim Burton or really who directed it.
But I think you knew
But
that
the
way it
tone
was
was
done,
different.
it was different. Yeah.
I just remember that the girl from the movie is the Hot Shots girl. Remember the pretty Italian girl from Hot Shots?
Yeah.
She was the girl from that movie. That's the only thing I remember because when I saw Hot Shots, I'm like, oh, that's the girl from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. That's
But the thing about Pee Wee though, it's in itself though, is just that because it was so childish and quirkish kind of thing, whatever. That of course, as an adult, you look at it and you laugh because you understand that it was meant to be quirky. Like you know, like the movie knows it.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then you know, sure
Self-aware.
enough, he becomes an adult movie with childish undertones and adult undertones to like now he's just a kid show host, and then you know. He just fell down because you have a kid show host that exposed himself in a bathroom and that's his downfall.
As a kid, I never thought about it. As an adult, they kind of, as an adult, you kind of see him like, is he kind of like androgynous? Like he's very flamboyant.
Definitely.
They kind of play with that, and the girl's hitting on him. And he doesn't even understand. But then he kind of likes the waitress, so you don't understand that either.
I think.
But they made him very like
asexual.
Asexual,
Yeah,
very strange. And you didn't pick that up as a kid. You thought he was just a cool. He's supposed to be a big kid, you know, like some man-child thing. Mm-hmm. But
actually, what he's trying to do is for the third part is going to be actually the Playhouse movie. Pee Wee's Playhouse, the movie. So that would be the third one. Actually.
And I guess part 2 probably was made, like you said, more like the show because the show was popular. Kind of like they did kind of the same idea when they did the second Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. Realized they don't smoke in Ghostbusters 2 because the cartoon in between changed everything.
Oh, I did not know that.
Remember there was the cartoon after Ghostbusters? Remember because part 2 didn't come out for years later. Mm-hmm. The cartoon, they had new fans for the cartoon. That's why they brought back Slimer in there. Because the cartoon. Because remember in the first Ghostbusters, they didn't even call him Slimer.
No, he was just in one scene. Why would he even have a name?
Exactly, but he became popular in the cartoon.
So they had to give because it was
that's why
toys.
he's like driving the bus and he's talking to. Remember they made scenes with Slimer.
Yes, they had to go out of his way and give him
because they made toys of him too. So when they realized the toys were popular too, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the studio was like, well, let's make more money out of this. We have to give this kid a name.
Some of the behind the
movie.
scenes thing,
Exactly.
And that's why they don't smoke anymore because the studio now said we don't want you
I
to
only
smoke.
remember Ernie Hudson being the smoker. I don't remember anybody else smoking in that movie.
Nah, Bill Murray smoking, chain smoking, a bunch of scenes.
Yeah, really.
So Dan Aykroyd, remember the famous scene when his cigar's hanging on his lip?
Oh yes, you're right.
He smokes in every scene.
Yes, actually, isn't that when Slimer shows up?
Yeah, and Slimer was based on John Belushi. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yes, it's an
like the Animal House.
His character.
I can see that.
And he had already died, so it's kind of like an homage to him because he was supposed to be in it.
But I think a lot of movies suffered.
John Candy was supposed to be Rick Moranis' character.
But I think a lot of 80s movies suffered from that too because anything that got popular turned into kids shows or kids cartoons. Yeah. And I think that's what suffered too because now we have a generation.
RoboCop got kid eyes too.
Yeah, and then no one knew that RoboCop was there, like
Toxic Avenger, same thing.
Same thing. Yes. They're all adult, violent films that became kiddie movies, and of course, when they got popular more than the film, they decided the film would be more popular. It could be more accessible.
But those are enigmas that I'm telling you, bro. I don't think things like that would ever happen now. And everything is so politically correct now.
Well, of course.
These things are fascinating to me. It's like, how does something that started off like this end up so different and focused towards children?
When it comes to movies, I think a lot of that is just the studios. They don't even want to make it R anymore. They want to make it PG-13 so you can make more money. They don't care about being risky.
Absolutely.
The indie ones do it.
But like, it's amazing.
But the indie ones don't cost a lot of money to be. well, they don't cost a lot of money either. I think that,
Yeah.
and then they always have it in a specialized release where they release.
Yeah.
They release it specific to like either in film festivals to get more press for it, so that way they get more viewership, or they always like limit the release, so that way enough people can watch it, but not too much where they have to spend more money releasing it everywhere.
Yeah. Or the Weinsteins win and they change it to PG-13, like
right.
King's Speech.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that movie King's Speech won that year?
Yes.
It was rated R because it had bad words in it. It was an adult movie.
Yeah.
And then they got greedy and they actually spent money going back into the movie, and they like changed things to make it rated R, to make it PG-13, to re-release it because they won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Like, thankfully they make money. So that it won't be, because once it makes money, people do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nowadays, the studios think about it. They're like, oh fuck it, we'll release unrated on DVD, and they can do that now.
Because that's
the
a way they make
sanitized
money.
version in the theater, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, we could double dip.
We have both movies.
We sell you the bullshit sanitized version in theaters. If we make decent enough amount of money, then we give you the unrated, and you have to go buy the fucking Blu-ray. And double dip, and people do it, and that's why they continue to do this. And that's why there's so many fucking people that hate Hollywood to this day, because they just they want to double dip and everything. They want to dick you over and everything they do. Mm-hmm. Luckily for us, dorks and geeks and the fucking comic nerds and shit, we live in a golden age where a few of us have actually made it to a high position, directorial wise or whatever, that they can do an Avengers, Iron Man, and they do all these movies, and they like, you know what? We're gonna do it our way, bro. And obviously, you're kissing our ass, because we start up from doing what, like J.J. Abrams and shit, doing fucking TV shows.
So J.J. Abrams, I realized the other day, he's one of the screenwriters of a fucking Armageddon.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you gotta start somewhere, bro.
Exactly. Think about that. He's been around for a while. Armageddon.
Yeah. And
he wrote. He's one of the screenwriters.
And look at this dude, or the Avengers director.
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Dude,
Firefly and Veronica Mars.
He's one of the writers of Toy Story, by the way. I caught that the other day.
Nice.
Look at that.
But it's like these guys,
somewhere.
they make their way up. Somebody gives them a shot. They do a little no-name TV show. They built the cult following.
Yeah.
They got another TV show with a bigger budget. The cult following follows them, so they have power. Then somebody makes, they get to a point where they can be like, you know what, I'm the guy that you're going to need to do a superhero movie and make it work.
1-2 punch, Avengers and Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah. And it,
And he's done,
it takes
right?
people like that.
Josh said he's done.
I think he's done for now.
I think he got burnt out by that second one.
But Ultron burnt his ass out.
He worked for 3 years straight almost on it,
he's
writing it and then actually
bitter.
making it.
He's like, his remarks have been snarky a little bit. Talk shit about Jurassic World.
Actually, the thing about Joss and also with who was suffering from who has went through this too, Alan Taylor, who did. It's funny he did Terminator Genesis.
Yeah,
they've
Thor.
actually been having not so good experiences with Marvel, because Marvel are studio run film, not necessarily the director run ones. So whatever they film, sometimes they've changed in post production without them knowing, and that's happened to Josh.
That's called the studio way.
It must suck to make a movie, spend 2 years. You know how that is. You're there all day. You're never home. You're away from your family and shit. You're there to make. That's even to make a decent movie. You just gotta be there.
Oh yeah.
And then you go, and then it's like, it's a different movie. That must suck. One thing as an actor, you can't really control that unless you're like Tom Cruise or something.
But when
you
you're
like
the guy,
manipulate
like,
everything. Can you imagine being a director and watching a movie, and then it's like,
what the hell?
Like Darkman, I think Sam Raimi had it too many times.
Oh, all
Evil
the time.
Dead got butchered. I think
Spider-Man
Darkman got
3,
butchered.
bro.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3
got-
And he was big already though. That's mind-boggling. Like he's already. It's not like his first Spider-Man movie, and they fucked with it.
No,
It's like
they let him do it. He
one,
did it
and
right.
then everyone
thing,
liked 2, even though 2 didn't make as much as 1.
Right.
Everybody liked 2. Like that was like the Dark Knight back then. Wow, part 2 was so much better.
But I think what happened
And
then
3
was
like boom.
But I think the same thing that happened with most movies, especially when it's the first and even the sequel, is that first what they'll do is that they'll make a movie on their own without any expectation. It's great, they did it the way they did it. The studio will give them more money for a bigger budget to see if they can do better, and obviously they do better, but then they're so maligned into actually making more money or to like...
because they spent so much on the sequel, and they do Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Exactly, so for every single...
Finally see it.
So for every Spider-Man...
that's all.
Yeah, so for every Spider-Man 2, you'll have a Spider-Man 3. For every Dark Knight, you'll have a Dark Knight Rises. For every...
Dark Knight Rises wasn't that bad, though. I don't know why everyone gets it a lot of shit.
I
It
think it
wasn't
has
as
too much
good,
characters, yeah.
but it doesn't compare to Spider-Man 3, though.
For every Dark Man you have, Dark Man die.
I'm saying for every sequel you have, whatever, there's always in the Maling threequel that will always suffer because someone would want to like make sure that they may get money out of it.
The problem is when you do something and you do it right and it becomes a cash cow, it becomes the focus of a studio to milk it till it has no more
until it dies.
Milk in it. And that's when the director has to say, okay, I'm out. I'm going to something else. You guys fuck this up. I set it up, you fuck it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do something else. I'm taking my name off of it.
And you know what? Well, let's do a little history lesson too, because I think a lot of people that listen might not know this too, but they've been doing this since the 70s. And let me explain first what I mean by that.
Break it down, man. Break it down.
All right. The Golden Age or the American New Wave started with obviously the creme of directors, which is Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, William Friedkin. Who else am I missing?
From that era.
George Lucas.
Brian De Palma.
George Lucas, all those
George
people.
Miller, like that era.
Exactly. So you have to understand, these guys made a lot of money for these studios, but of course, these were directors that did a lot of these good movies that did so much money, they had so much like critical acclaim, that the studios at that point were just giving them money, not giving them any control. But of course, when you have too much power, you kind of like mess it up. So of course, you have
great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. So you have Michael Cimino, who did Deer Hunter, but then he did Days of Heaven, and then you
Heaven's
have
Heaven's Gate, the famous bomb.
Heaven's Gate, the famous bomb, and then you have Scorsese.
I want to see that movie.
The famous bomb?
Yeah.
Heaven's Gate. I've heard since I was a kid.
It's really a western with people in roller skates in it. So for anyone that's considering it, think twice.
Roller skates in it?
They have roller skates in it.
I thought it was a serious western.
It's a serious western with roller skates in it.
I gotta see this.
Like a train track?
No, and a roller rink made out of freaking wood and stuff like that. There's horses and people in cowboy hats.
Even better.
It's bizarre.
It's a modern day cowboy movie? Like modern, it was like contemporary at the time, or was it
It came out in 70 something, I think.
Yeah,
that was the beginning of the end too, because at that point the blockbusters had come out already. Like Star Wars came out, Jaws came out. So a lot
the movies were different.
Movies were different, so we were giving these people money because they thought they'd do it the right way every single time. But of course, when they start making bad movies, especially someone made a musical. It was Coppola, who I think he made a musical during that time, and it bombed crazy, and they gave him a lot of money for that. So ever since then, that's what changed in the 80s, because in the 80s, they stopped giving these people so much money and started controlling all the films that we're doing. And that's why, as anyone that's ever studied film, those Sid Field, how the Art of Screenwriting book came out, everyone that was writing a screenplay was reading that book at that time. So that's how now a lot of those. That's why the movies back in the 80s, they were good at first, but then people started making it because they were just like, okay, we put a cartoon out, boom, there's money to get to come out of that. And of course, that's what we have. The Pee Wee Playhouse show. Mm-hmm. We have the Ghostbusters cartoons. We have
Star Wars started the franchise stuff now.
Exactly. Now
merchandise, toys, spin-offs.
Yeah. Exactly.
So then they started becoming like that, and I think it started becoming like. Almost like regulated like TV was, where they were just, And then even think about it back then, I mean, theaters were a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Javi, the force is strong with you, bro.
I'm telling you.
I'm back in class here.
There's a little film history for everyone too, but a lot of it comes in circles. For every Martin Scorsese that comes out with something good, then we come like out with Tim Burton's maligned stuff, and then for every Quentin Tarantino and like who else am I missing?
Yeah, but we can get bad stuff. You bowl bad,
Yeah,
man. God, that name does not resonate within this podcast.
How about maybe not bad, but not bankable now, like Shalaman?
Well, he's trying to make a comeback now.
Yeah, the TV show. TV show's not bad. I've been watching it. Have you been watching it?
I've not been watching it.
You saw the first couple episodes?
He's trying to get that Unbreakable 2 going. Just let it lie, man. Let it go.
But that's the problem. Everything comes in circles. Someone will do something good, and then somehow the studios will find a way to either milk it or just kind of like make it their own.
Exactly. I mean, that's why, in a way, as much as I used to idolize him, and then he let me down because he just became like, what happened, bro? But then he's still doing things that I'm like, dude, I would so do that. I always have deep down love and respect for Robert Rodriguez.
I knew you were going to say Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
He started off the dream just like I would have done it. And then he got so bizarre and out there. And then he did fucking Grindhouse, which I loved it. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I
he did the Spy Kids too, though. Like that.
That was bread and butter.
That's the shit I'm talking about. That it's like, what the fuck happened?
The first Spy Kids wasn't bad.
I think he just needed a check.
We liked the first Spy Kids. When it came out, the first one, we were like,
because
oh,
it
for
was
a kids
different.
movie, it was cool.
Yeah, it was different. Nobody's
Kind
doing
of like Wee
kids
Herman.
movies like that.
It was a cool kids movie.
But the thing about him is that he's always real, bro. He always does his own
Kind of
shit.
against the grain.
He doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks. And brother, I'm a huge fan of his TV show. He has a TV network, a Ray network.
I didn't even know it was his.
Brother, growing up, I grew up with Channel 33, Channel 39, where they would have like Sundays. They would like kung fu movie marathons all day. Then they'll have like monster fucking marathons, and they do all. Well, that's what this network is. It's like my childhood, 24/7.
Channel 39.
Channel 33, Channel 39. Yeah. WDZL.
Anybody want to be?
Yes. This past Saturday, I woke up and he had a Sam Raimi marathon where he played the Evil Dead trilogy.
What?
He played the Darkman movies. Well, actually, only Darkman 1 because I think that's the one he actually directed. And dude, how awesome is that? Nobody does that shit.
Who wants one? Anybody?
The Brewskis are here. Anyways,
El Rey.
we have to tie this back. We have to get back to Pee Wee, man.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a hell of a title.
Well, it's funny how Pee Wee just brings back the quirkiness of back in the 80s and how they got along with it because I think that's missing now because movies are now, not that they aren't quirky, you know, it's just that you probably won't see them as much now given the fact that I think the running, not the running joke, but I think the moneymaker here, like the direction to take, is dark and gritty and serious. You know, whereas like this is pure escapism at its best.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that became the trend a long time ago, especially with like the whole Nolan Batman stuff. Everything became dark. Everything became serious, and everybody had to copy him, and everything had to be like.
Now we have a Superman that looks
right.
constipated in the trailers now. So
No, you're right, but there was dark before. I think the Nolan movies made it dark mainstream. Made it like the standard. Oh, you got to make it this way because they made so much money. Because there were some dark movies when we were kids. Dark superhero movies. Even Blade was dark, but it was underrated. People didn't. Blade was always never mainstream. It was never Spider-Man. It was always kind of like a.
It stayed under the radar and never like caught
That's a
on
Marvel
as a trend.
character.
I was gonna say
superhero.
it wasn't because it was rated R. You know it. We saw Blade together when it first came out, and we were like, our fucking
style.
minds were blown, man. We were
Very
like,
Matrix-like,
yes.
if you think about it. The techno music, the fighting style.
Oh, yeah.
It was very like Asian influence.
Well, it was a time
Graphic,
at
yeah.
that time. That's
starting to happen
it was starting to happen exactly.
with the.
And it had the
Giant
little
family.
jump cuts. It was the beginning of jump cuts.
The
Flash.
flash thing that went overboard. Remember, every horror movie had to have that strobe flash thing.
Oh god, it was disorienting.
You know, the
I mean,
fans.
Blade did it too because it was appropriate for the fact that it was fast intercuts and editing. Because he was fighting multiple people all at once, and that's what made it cool. Because you were showing that and not too much gore. You were showing red, but not too much blood in that sense. But again, going back to what you said, it wasn't the trend. Even though it was good, it wasn't the trend. It wasn't popular enough to become a trend. But when Dark Knight came out and when Dark Knight came out and Batman Begins came out, that got so popular that the trend became the norm.
You gotta
after
make it
that.
this way.
Yeah, then it became the norm, and sure
And
enough,
that's what the new Spider-Man was. The Amazing Spider-Man to me was the same movie as the Sam Raimi one, except Christopher Nolan did.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the fucking wrangler. I have to wrangle you guys back to Pee Wee though. We keep going off the superhero.
No, but you know what?
Right, well,
No,
okay,
but
we can
it's-
segue back into Pee Wee.
Yeah, but you know what? It makes a good point though. It's just that we saw it. It's just a good reminder to just see how quirky and different things are before they were just becoming complete cash cows. Then you know.
Yes.
It's just seeing it's almost refreshing too because it's incredibly 80s because it's not fancy like camera work in that sense. It's really
Not
just
necessarily, no.
yeah, not necessarily whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it had Tim Burton's touches, but it wasn't like too much CGI and too much.
He had his quirky angles, but he didn't move the camera a lot back then.
No.
Nothing
A lot
fancy.
of people didn't really move the camera that
Nothing
much back
fancy,
then.
and none of it was all like how is it those kind of like hero shots or whatever, like any of those like very very how can I say this, like any of those big time like shots that most directors have to like go ahead and show off how good they are on camera.
Or like a big master take,
Exactly.
all one shot,
Yes.
Scorsese stuff.
Not even he did it in this film, even though he had his quirky shots, but that was it.
Well, you could
Yeah,
tell
and it had a fast-paced editing for
it
the
has
whole movie.
it
Yes,
has
it had
all,
boop, boop, it had pretty.
it has all the doings of you thinking and saying, yeah, that's somebody's first big studio movie because we're watching this movie and honestly, we're saying it out loud in the theater. It's like now that we're watching it again, it's been a long time. this movie makes no sense, and it's like a bunch of skits
Yeah.
tied together.
Like
One
Dumb and
skit,
Dumber.
one scene that has nothing to do with the previous, and it's not gonna do anything with the movie. Just one scene after another after another. It looks like a TV show.
Like a vignette, yeah.
Yeah, just stitched together.
Yeah.
And it's like the biker bar scene. The nightmare
scene with the
sequences,
ex-con, the cartoon eyes.
the ex-con in the
Yeah.
stolen car, and the checkpoint scene.
The love scene.
The love scene with the
Love-
dinosaur
love
restaurants and
plot.
stuff.
Yeah, the bathtub scene when he goes
It's
in and
moving
chokes-
along,
Or
and
the
it's
psychic lady, yeah.
Yeah.
It's moving and it's taking you somewhere. And overall, I guess you can
It has-
say
I mean, it
that
has-
there's a plot.
Has a goal. It's
I mean,
against Pike. That's
but
it.
when you do a movie like this, where it's so many random, bizarre things that really have nothing to do with each other, the best thing to do is have the simplest fucking plot in the world, which is what? Somebody stole his bike.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Dude, you're 100%
That's
right.
it.
You know what movie now I think about is the exact same movie, except they just changed everything. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They get the donut, and then it's a bunch of stupid shit, and then they get the donut at the end.
You need the fucking burger,
The
bro.
burger,
What are you talking
White
about?
Castle.
I mean, sorry,
White
White
Castle.
Castle. Sorry. I'm saying
But it's the
I'm
same
thinking-
thing, yeah, same thing.
I'm thinking Krispy Kreme for some reason.
It's like, you know what, guys? I have a fucking stoner movie. We have the stupidest
definitely a stoner
plot. All it is point A and point B. Whatever's in the middle doesn't have to make sense. As long as it's fucking funny and creative, it doesn't matter. As long as you get to a point B. And that's what this movie is. It's like
It felt like a cartoon.
his movie gets stolen right in the beginning. And by the time he gets it back, it's just like a bunch of skits that don't even intertwine, but they're fun. They're different. They're
Like a
all
cartoon.
different from each
Like
other.
a little cartoon.
Yeah.
And like was that Amazing Larry in the show, or that's just some random
No,
shit?
that was just some random
That's
amazing
so
shit.
random. He's like a Native American, right? He
Dude,
has like
you know what's
feathers.
funny? Somebody,
Random.
I think it's someone that follows the Celluloid Society on Instagram, put a art piece of Amazing Larry yesterday, and I almost fucking crashed my car because not to say that I'm fucking looking at my phone and driving, but I was at a red light and something came on and I switched it, and it was a painting of Amazing Larry with that mohawk. I was like, what the hell is this shit? And it was like another random
I would
character
love to
from
get
the
that
movie. It's just
shirt.
like a cartoon, man. It's just like all these random characters and
I'm trying to look for it now, but
what
I don't
Amazing
have it.
Larry. What's
That's
like
a
that
great
have-
shirt. Is it like holographic looking, like multicolored?
Oh no, it was a painting. It was a painting.
But
watch
is it like
watch Amazing
watercolor?
Larry have a fucking cult following.
And it was like a cartoon it was like a cartoon. It was like they had like the little BMX gang. Then he had all these little characters. He had
Which is super 80s.
they had like some Haitian guy saying, "Yes, I'm Chuck."
Oh, that's so good.
It is funny, even though that's all he says, but it's just done in a funny way.
It's like fucking Chuck's Bicycle Emporium. Yes, I'm Chuck.
It almost feels like almost like a Simpsons episode. Like some of the scenes are just
Oh,
very
yeah.
They're very episodic.
yeah, and they're
It
like
is.
very like caricatures. Everything's
Like they could have
caricature.
chopped every scene into a TV 30-minute special and just showed it like every day, boom, 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 every part of the movie, because that's how, I can see how it turned into a TV show.
And then the big chase at the end through the studio lot. Kevin Smith kind of redid that in Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes,
remember?
he did. Yes, he
the
did.
Miramax studio.
You have to have a little bit of everything, the Godzilla stuff, the Western.
Twisted Sister.
That Twisted
Twisted
scene.
Sister,
That was
holy
awesome.
crap! Yeah.
How cool is it? That song comes on and you're like, oh shit.
Like no, I mean,
it's
since
so
I heard it, I was
gratuitous.
like, "That's right." I was like, at first, I didn't think it was them until I saw like
D-
what was his name, like
D. Snyder.
D. Snyder,
D. Snyder,
on the
yeah.
car, and I was like, "Wow, did they actually put him in the movie?"
And as a kid, I mean, I don't even think I thought about that. I don't even think. I mean, Twisted Sister. How long did they last? A few years, right? 86,
I think they were a
87.
major '80s band, but
At
they
that
ended-
point.
Yeah, at that point.
So I think by that, it's kind of like watching it now. It dates it. It's like a dated joke. It's like if they had Justin Bieber on there or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's also talking about Kevin Smith. How did that shit end? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back with what's the name of that band that he's obsessed with? But it's like an 80s.
Morris Day in the Time.
Morris Day in the Times.
From
You're like,
the Queen, from the Prince. Oh, yeah, from the
yeah,
Prince
yeah.
soundtrack. Yeah.
yeah.
That he just threw that in there because it was his friends. Yeah. But yeah, there's dated jokes in that movie too. Of course, the American Pie. Remember they bump into American Pie. The Ben Affleck jokes. Good haunting applesauce, bitch.
Yeah.
Then they had like a Scream spoof, but the monkey was the killer.
Yes.
Then they had the big billboard of Ben Affleck. They had a shot of him from Armageddon. It was called Moon Raper
Moon. Yes.
or Moon Rapper.
I think it's Raper. I think it's Moon Raper. I gotta look
Like
that
Moon,
up.
I guess a fun Moonraker.
Yeah,
But it
close.
was that Armageddon shot of him like that. And they did the little whatever.
I wonder if they're actually still in speaking terms. I know they had a falling out.
Oh, we're talking about Affleck and Smith.
Oh,
No.
Again?
I don't think they had a falling out at all. As a matter of fact, Kevin Smith was actually one of the first people to actually see Affleck in costume.
No, I know he did,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought the falling out was around that time. Like
Was
something.
it?
I don't know.
I think it had to do with his wife, which.
Oh, they got divorced.
Yeah, I heard they got-
divorced.
Interesting.
Some say fidelity or like gambling.
I think he was just cutting all of his Daredevil ties when he became Batman.
I think I don't know.
He was
what's
like,
going
this
on
movie
there.
has to succeed.
How cute would that jump?
Exactly.
All right, we're back, and here we're gonna talk about if they make Pee-wee again. If
Calling Mr. Herman. Mr.
Now,
Herman.
is it I'm not familiar with the details. Is it a sequel or reboot or is
Part
it a
three?
sequel? Yeah, it's gonna be like a.
I don't know.
a
I mean, it's
reintroduction.
not like it's been revealed, but from the Wikipedia page, it's Pee-wee's Playhouse, the movie.
I don't know if I like
So
that.
I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if he's just gonna try to do like the whole reboot and try to get the children's angle going
But
again.
the fact that there might be a lot of CG in it, it's gonna be like the Son of the Mask or some shit.
Well, no, because you know why there is hope for it. Have you seen the HBO Broadway play special?
No, I've seen clips of the thing, but I've never.
It's
been
pretty
to
much Pee-wee's Playhouse for adults.
Oh, okay.
It's full of sex innuendos and all that shit. So if he's gonna go that angle,
that would be great.
Hell
But
yeah.
I don't know if that would. I don't know if that would make any money.
it doesn't matter by this point. Just the fact that it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done because the Broadway show got such high reviews. He did a whole fucking tour.
Is Beetlejuice coming first? Because I've
Oh
been
yeah,
hearing
yeah,
more
no,
about that.
yeah. Beetlejuice is coming
So
first.
that probably will determine that.
I think when it comes to like anything.
But I don't know if Tim Burton is doing it. So Beetlejuice has nothing to
Well,
do
I
with Tim
think-
Burton.
I think-
I don't know.
No,
who's doing
yeah,
it.
no. The last thing I heard that Michael Keaton said that him and
No. I'm saying I don't know if he's doing Pee-wee.
oh, I don't know either.
That's why I'm like, I don't know. I think it's Beetlejuice is gonna come first, but I don't think Tim Burton. I don't know if Tim Burton's attached to the Pee-wee
Maybe
third
Paul
film.
Rubin's gonna do it himself. I don't know. It might be its own
Yeah.
thing. I don't know.
I think when it comes to what I'm a little afraid of too is that I mean everyone wants Tim Burton to come back and do them, whatever. Just that the movies were good what they are because there's quirkiness from Burton. But the thing is, Burton was a much different place back then than it was
yeah.
now. You know, the movie studio system was way different than it was now.
He's a fat
Yeah.
cat now. He already got paid. So
Exactly. So in
he
my
changed.
opinion, it's one of those
Planet
things.
Apes? Come on.
Oh,
In my opinion, I honestly think it's gonna be one of those things where they're either gonna darken it or they're gonna be too dark or too something. Like someone's gonna.
But even when he tries to dark, like the last movie he did with Johnny Depp, that Dark Shadow.
It's like he's mimicking his younger self, and
making
he
fun of
can't
himself.
do it anymore. I say,
like a Naked Gun spoof.
Exactly.
if they're gonna do the third Pee-wee, honestly, I'd rather get a new up and coming guy than Tim Burton because
But
I
that's
think Tim
someone-
Burton is just so he's a character.
Any ideas for story though, or just a Playhouse? Like
Oh,
what
I
about
have no idea. I
Would
don't
you
know
want
the
a
details.
meta Pee-wee's Playhouse, like
A much more.
Nightmare on Elm Street, A New Nightmare, like it's Paul Rubens playing Pee-wee.
No.
It splits personality. He's like Fight Club all of a sudden. He's fighting Pee-wee.
That
Think
would
they'll do it that way?
So in other words,
Does that fit
Paul
you do it?
Rubens in Birdman, he's just
Exactly.
kind of
Yeah, but come on.
No.
You know how they copy shit? You think they'll do it that way? Like try to be, oh, let's do something like the Terminator movie. Let's try to do something different and change it.
I don't think so. I think Paul Rubens is just gonna try to do literally another Pee-wee resurgence, where he feels like it's been enough time that he can bring Pee-wee back now and possibly, start the wheel again and get the whole Pee-wee.
But I think
thing
maybe
going.
the real issue here is that it's not necessarily the face of Pee-wee because that'll be the same, but necessarily like the brains, like who's actually gonna go and get the gears going. And again, it might not be if it's Burton, it's not gonna be the same movie. If it's someone else, it still won't be the same movie. And who knows where the studios stand with that? It's always gonna be up in the air. But I just think that the only reason why I'm worried is because of the fact that since we are in an age now where like they're trying to add more seriousness into the role kind of thing, it might not. They're gonna make a movie where
Or modernize
it's
it
not
like Gem.
exactly. They're gonna modernize it. Where a movie wasn't. You're gonna have a movie that was successful because it didn't take itself seriously to a movie that's gonna take itself more
But
seriously.
the
and it
difference
will
is
fail.
that it's not like the studio's rebooting Pee-wee without Paul Rubens. There's a Paul Rubens vehicle doing another adventure for Pee-wee. That's why I'm like, you know what? It's gonna probably be good.
What if they did this? Finish.
And after the whole Broadway show thing was a hit, I think it'll work. I think they can. If he does it, true to what he's done in the past, it's gonna be good. If it was a reboot like Gem or any other shit in the studios, like, yeah, we're gonna redo Pee-wee,
Hollywood gets his fingers on it. They're gonna
which they can't
gonna
because
chew
I
it up.
believe he owns that character regardless.
I don't think a lot of.
yeah,
I think the only.
Paul Rubens, I know he trusts it, but like they give him a big chunk of money. I can't say he's not gonna say okay. Like I don't know his like.
You know what?
Yeah, his financial status,
he might do
yeah.
what he wants. He might be like for.
But you know, no person. Yeah.
We just think now he looked like Dr. Silverman from Terminator 2. Remember?
Well, the problem with 80s movies too is that even if they will make it again, no one actually owns it. The only franchise that's actually owned by the director and the writer is Back to the Future. I don't know if you guys know this.
I heard that new article when they said we'll never remake it as long as we live.
Yeah, there's a now anyone that doesn't know.
He actually has control over the product.
Yeah. And you know, I heard that also Cameron's getting control back from Terminator. After
has
a couple
to.
of years.
But it still has to wait like 5 years.
That's weird.
By then, I don't think he would give a shit.
It's okay about.
Okay, so overall, after we saw Pee-wee, and in all its 80s, 35 millimeter ran through the fucking dollar theater back in the day glory, where we were sitting in that theater and we watched every minute of it, and our wives and were looking at us like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Yes,
And we loved every second of it.
it was worth it.
What overall, the Pee Wee Herman experience? I understand his dark moments where he was fucking whacking it in the fucking theater and all that. F that.
Our final
Overall,
thoughts.
what are your final thoughts on Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
I still think it's great. I think Pee-wee is kind of like misunderstood. People don't understand Pee-wee. They think it's a kid's thing, and I tell them watch the movie. Yeah, it has kid humor in it, but it's so weird that you'll enjoy it. It's actually a good movie.
See, I'll tie it up with fucking Terminator for you. This is the genesis of everything that eventually blossomed afterwards. This is the birth of Tim Burton's stylistic movie-going experience. This is Danny Elfman's epic soundtrack. I mean, all coming together. This is a movie where you could take a kid and 50% of the shit going on screen, he's not gonna understand, but you will. Because it's sex, it's fucking all kinds of crazy shit going on there that as a kid you never got it. You watch it now and you're like, oh my god, they're talking about anal sex in a fucking Pee-wee movie. When I tell you that Pee-wee's character was in a fucking Cheech and Chong movie doing cocaine under the table.
I mean, the guy's named Pee-wee. We should have figured it out back then.
Brother, this movie is a classic. I'm actually ashamed to say I don't have it on Blu-ray. I need to get it.
Yeah.
That's the type of movie
It has
I need to have in my
commentary by
collection.
Tim Burton on it. And
Yes.
Paul Rubens.
Yes. I grew up with Pee-wee. I'm a big fucking Pee Wee Herman fan. I'm a big Tim Burton classic fan. I say if you haven't seen it, you must be living under a fucking rock. Especially if you're born in the 80s, early 90s. There's no fucking excuse. Go see Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. It is mind-blowing. Javi.
All right, here's my wrap up. It's funny how you mentioned Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman.
It's weird because a lot of people know him for writing the score for Batman, which is crazy because that was actually, I think, one of his earlier works that got him famous too from his collaboration with Tim Burton. But
also, he's the guy whose band is Oingo Boingo.
Boingo.
How fucking great of a band is that?
But I think it's funny how you look at it too, and I think there's so much to appreciate from just watching it again. Even if there's people that watch it again and still doesn't get it or kind of don't like it, you can still appreciate for the fact that they got away with certain adult themes in that film, you know, that most viewers now will probably like call foul on, you know, because we tend to be politically incorrect for everything now, and the fact that sometimes that quirkiness just is underappreciated.
So then it's unanimous. We all highly agree
Definitely
that we recommend
it.
this movie.
Very recommended.
this
It's
movie.
like Alice in Wonderland, trippy.
This is what you do. You get a 6-pack of beers. You start fucking taking 1 or 2 down. Pop in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You'll fucking love every minute of that movie.
12
Every
pack.
fuck. I mean, if you have weed, light it up, bro. This movie's great.
You should start the weed at the very point where it says the Warner Brothers logo. That's when you start it.
Let it burn by then, and by that time maybe you'll through half the blood like an hour in.
So first, We tattoo him. Then we hang
then
him.
we hang him.
And then we kill
tattoo
him.
No, it was,
Then we kill him.
yeah, and then we kill him. Yeah.
Okay. So
I messed it up.
from the FilmCan gang, Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
And Tim Burton.
and Tim Burton,
Danny Elfman.
and D.
Twisted
Snyder.
Sister, D. Snyder.
And Paul Rubin.
Catch us next time.
Go watch this shit. FilmCan Productions, baby. Till next time.
Till next
Until next
time.
time.